Hello and welcome to the Nashville Daily Podcast. I'm Stuart Deming.
And I'm Aaron Pennington.
Many changes to downtown Nashville buildings were announced over the holiday season.
Plus, where we'll be eating in 2023.
We'll talk about all of this and more on Nashville Daily.
We're going to be talking about where we are looking forward to eating in 2023, what's coming up, what's new, but where will you be living this year? Are you planning on moving? Are you planning on buying a house? What are you planning on doing this year? Well, if you are interested in what's out there, take a look at thinkbrad.com. Brad Reynolds is a real estate agent here in town. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Talks about a lot of developments, a lot of real estate market news in Nashville. And if you want to get in touch with him, just a text or a phone call away, 615-856-3270. We had him on the podcast just a few days ago just to get a little bit of an update from the market and a little bit of a holiday update from Brad. So check that out. That was, I believe,
Wednesday's episode.
2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Now, but if you want to reach out to Brad, there's a phone number on screen, and you can also head to thinkbrad.com. Make sure if you are thinking Nashville, you're thinking Brad, and go to thinkbrad.com.
All right, so it's not every day, it is every day, that we see an announcement for Broadway. Let's be honest. Like, there's new changes happening to this bar.
It might as well
this
be.
bar. Bon Jovi's bar is being built here. Broadway is an ever-changing landscape, and it's also an ever-changing place where people are getting drunk and crazy. So I try to avoid Broadway as much as physically possible, which is almost all the time.
Yes.
But they're, according to the Metro Planning Department, this is coming from the Nashville Business Journal, plans for a complete renovation of an existing 3-story building at 419 Broadway, along with a new fourth floor and rooftop deck. So there's
Surprise!
they're adding another floor to this building in downtown Nashville, and we have Greg, the Google guy, on the street.
On it.
He's on it right now, and this is the Nashville Crossroads. So it's right in between Alan Jackson's place and the old Ernest Tubb Records. So this is getting a floor lift, so it's going to have 4 floors, and a rooftop bar. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? You just need more space. So this is Big Plan Holdings. They're the one building a Bon Jovi themed honky tonk on the strip.
Which is right here. So where this lot is right here, let's have Greg go. Go, Greg, go. It's like Pikachu coming out of his Pokeball. All right.
Also, construction firm Impetus, STG Design, and Benesh's Nashville office are all listed in project documents.
So this is where the Bon Jovi bar is going. It's going to be an L-shaped bar. They have been working on this aggressively over the last little while.
There you go. So, I mean, all of this, according to the Business Journal, follows a string of headlines about Lower Broadway's transformation. A lot of new concepts are under development. A lot of just about everywhere that could be under construction is pretty much under construction there. Yeah. Anything that's not been turned into a new honky tonk on Lower Broadway is being turned into a new honky tonk, or at least thought about, or a parking lot's been bought. But this Crossroads innovation would include 2 new stair towers as well as new elevators and updated mechanical, electrical, and plumbing equipment. The building's Broadway facade will incorporate historical features, according to the documents.
It's the red brick. That's pretty much it. The historical figures. All right.
Yep.
So this entire episode is food-based. You will be hungry by the end of this. But I have to mention this. Hot Chicken Week is happening towards the end of January. Now the ads change, of course.
The end of January?
Yeah.
That's such a weird time.
Nashville Hot Chicken Week.
Such a weird time.
Literally, the ad changed right when I was about to read it, and I'm on the Nashville scene right now. But that's happening.
It's better than the ad that I'm getting right now.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, you're getting a weird ad. I just looked over and I see Barney the dinosaur, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. But there's a restaurant that's world famous. It's one of the most famous restaurants in Nashville. Last week, they announced their closing, and basically, I think they're closing today or tomorrow is their last day. And an operating business, and this has made nationwide news. Like I've been on like 3 or 4 big like publications, and I'm like, oh, they're talking about Arnold's, which that's what we're talking about here. The Nashville scene has done the best article. Okay, I have the Nashville Hot Chicken Week thing up. Show my computer real quick.
All right.
There we are. Nashville Hot
January
Chicken Wings,
30th through February 5th.
$7 hot chicken sandwiches.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Not terrible.
So every news outlet in Nashville is covering this. The Tennessean, News Channel 5, and the list goes on. But the Nashville scene has done the most excellent article on the closing of Arnold's Country Kitchen.
Yeah. So just for a second, the Arnold's has been open for 40 years. They're located along 8th Avenue.
Yeah, it's a Nashville staple. Like
it is also a meat and three. We'll talk about this every time because it's one of those things where a lot of people just knew what it was, and a lot of people from other parts of the country don't know what it is, and or from other places in the world. And essentially, you walk in and you go in a line and you order either a meat and two or meat and three, or there's other combinations of things you can get, but typically that meat is one serving of a larger slice of meat, meatloaf, chicken, whatever they're cooking that day. There's just cooked in quantities, like not necessarily a buffet, but like a cafeteria line.
It's a cafeteria line.
And then you go and there's a lot of vegetables to choose from. You get 2 or 3 depending on what combo you pick. And then you grab a drink. There's lots of desserts available. And then you go and sit down. So your food's already there, ready. There's not too many of them left in Nashville, but they're still crowded. Even the ones that are left are crowded. That's the good thing. Arnold's is closing on their own terms. This was not a decision of no business
or big developers coming in saying,
correct.
Hey, I own this property now.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you want to dive deeper into the story, the Nashville scene did a really good sit down interview with them, so you could really learn what's happening with this. Ultimately, it's been a staple here in Nashville. They've been very successful. They've been able to adapt through recessions and the housing market crashes and everything. So and now it's on their terms, and so I'm sad to see it go.
Yep.
The last time I ate at Arnold's had to be probably 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, or maybe even longer, maybe 3.5 years.
I mean,
ago.
honestly, meat and threes are still kind of hard to go to because they're busy. They are busy here in Nashville. If you're going during the lunchtime,
Well,
if you go in a lunchtime, you're fine. But if you got to go during lunchtime, when the time that everybody wants to eat, it's still busy.
Yeah, and I haven't been to Arnold's because I know they were doing the nighttime thing. I do want to show this real quick where Arnold's is located and what's going to happen in this area. So this is where Arnold's is located. It's right on 8th Avenue South. It's a small building compared to what's being built behind this warehouse and what's being built by that warehouse and what's going to be replacing the jackalope down the street.
Yeah, it's Arnold. They own the land that they're on, right?
Land.
Yeah,
I believe so.
I mean, honestly, it could be time where they're saying, hey,
it's
time to cash out. We're going to live in Hawaii.
Well, if we remember correctly, this parking lot was bought by Paseo South. It's a huge development coming into the Gulch. Paseo South owns this building, these huge skyscrapers there's a building here, and this building. It just makes sense to combine it all into one thing. Because wasn't there renderings that they were going to have a bridge over 8th Avenue connecting one of their buildings?
Well, yes, but they've been probably approached every day with offers for their land for the past 15 years, and every day that offer gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So maybe they made an offer
that
you
can't refuse. All right, so today's episode is brought to you by caffeine, and I feel like I need caffeine right now, and the best place to get caffeine is from Blessed Day Coffee. You can use the code EXPLORE20, XPLR20 at checkout. There is also free delivery for the Nashville area, which is a super unique thing. I don't think any other roasters really does
that. Who's going to do that for you?
Yeah. Besides Blessed Day Coffee. We have 2 roasts in partnership with Blessed Day Coffee. First is the Tennessee Sunrise. This is a nice, smooth blonde roast.
It's great to wake up to.
Delicious. So much caffeine. I feel energy just even smelling it and thinking about it. The second one, this is a 2-1 whammy, is Our Faces on it. The Nash Burrow Espresso Roast. And then Our Faces are on it, and it's like a 2-1 punch. Our Faces and then the caffeine.
There you go. So make sure that you get your slice of caffeine heaven over at Blessed Day Coffee. Use that discount code XPLR20 at checkout, and you can find all of that at blesseddaycoffee.com.
So there's so many restaurants coming to Nashville in 2023, and it's fascinating to think back over the last 3 or 4 months. And I believe we did at least 2 episodes over the last 4 months, maybe even 5 months, of new restaurants coming into Nashville.
Which is I want to take a second. It's very interesting because what industry got hit the hardest during the pandemic?
Hospitality, restaurants, and hotels.
And so, but Nashville still found a way. A lot of closings, a lot of sadness, a lot of tears. But Nashville still found a way to become a food mecca. Now, in some of these articles, there's a lot of lamenting for the food scene that once was Nashville or things that have closed. But in these articles by the Tennessean, there are 2 articles that we're going to kind of cipher some information through that are talking about what is to come in 2023 with the food scene. And somehow through the pandemic, Nashville still came out on top beyond where they started prior to the pandemic of being a really good food mecca in Tennessee. And so, I mean, it's just amazing, all the opportunity to have these restaurants here that there's so many that we don't get to even try them all.
Oh, yeah.
So this list upcoming, it's not a complete list. It's, hopefully we get to try all of these in 2023, but these are a list of places to keep your eye on and put on your list when looking at new restaurants for 2023. In addition to the stuff that we talked about late in 2022. So there's a lot.
What you'll notice is if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, some of these restaurants we have talked about, but now we're getting a little bit more insight. The interesting thing...
Yeah, this is where you get your notepad out and say, boom, boom, boom. These are 2023 restaurants to hit.
The interesting thing is the article we're reading from the Tennessean does not give us opening dates. And I know that's a really hard thing.
I don't blame them. I really don't blame them at all.
Construction gets pushed back, and so these are the restaurants that are estimated to open in 2023. And we need to start it off strong with a great Instagram brand here. I've seen this on Instagram multiple times. I've heard their sandwiches are amazing. And this is a sandwich shop called it's Bill's Sandwich Palace. And just look at this. Like it looks like a banh mi. It looks remarkable.
This does look absolutely incredible.
That's like their Philly cheesesteak. But let's throw up their Instagram for a second,
okay,
just so you get an idea. Like, look at these sandwiches. Look at these burgers.
Oh, sweet Lord.
Like,
that's amazing.
Aaron,
yeah,
I think,
definitely. If you're listening, go to our video and check this out.
Like, this place is definitely on my must-to-go list. And I think we're going to feature this restaurant in 2022.
Good
2023.
Lord.
It's not 2022.
It's not 2022. That is a tremendous place. And we told ourselves we can't show everybody's pictures, but good Lord, Bill, great job. I mean, those sandwiches are amazing.
That one we have to show the pictures of. Another restaurant that's been getting a lot of fame here recently, or that it's
just a lot of press. Yeah.
It's how you say it, Noko?
This is Noko, Noko. It describes itself as an Asian-inspired wood-fired restaurant. And we talked about this in December.
But the biggest one.
So I want to say this. They're going to be on Porter Road in East Nashville.
Okay.
They're going to have Wagyu brisket.
Yes, please.
With house-made Asian spice rub.
Yep.
Smoked gochujang hot wings. Yes. In addition to other rotating foods. So
that sounds amazing.
That's Noko.
So the next one is Kisser.
We talked about this November, December.
Yeah, this one is getting huge hype all over the country. So this is a Japanese cuisine with an emphasis on smoking and grilling. It's planning on opening in the Highland Yard storefront in East Nashville in January.
All right, East Nashville.
Do you know where the Highland Yard storefront is?
No.
I have no idea. Let's while you're reading the next one, I'm going to have Greg look this up.
All right. The Iberian Pig is the next restaurant to put on your list. In the Gulch, early 2023. It's an Atlanta area eatery. It's coming to Nashville. It's built as a modern Spanish tapas restaurant, matching bold flavors, the warm, convivial environment. So that's about all the information we have on that.
So I have Greg, the Google guy, at the Highland Yards. It's in East Nashville, past the interstate.
Okay.
So I guess
you sure Greg's in the right place?
I guess they've
converted. All right, let's see what's around. What's around this area?
Okay. Oh wow, Greg went forward in time. He was in 2015.
I know where we are now.
Building.
Yep.
Oh,
wow, that's very cool transformation there, Greg.
Greg, you did a fantastic job.
Yeah. So I recognize that a little bit now.
All right. So this next one is it Pastis?
Sure. Pastis. Pastis?
French restaurants.
Yeah, so it's French. So
they're out of
French people, help us out.
They're out of New York City. I want to show their menu real quick, if you don't mind, for lunch.
So they're going to be opening downtown in 2023. It's a well-known French restaurant in New York's meatpacking district, as well as Amsterdam and Miami.
They are some weird markets, and then in Nashville. All right, but
all right. Is this what we're putting up?
Yeah, this is their lunch. So it looks like a lobster risotto. Funny
lobster
bisque. So you have all these hors d'oeuvres. Okay, so this place looks fancy dancy. I'll probably try it eventually.
It's one of those places like. We'll try it.
Will I go? Sometime.
This place we're definitely gonna give like 5 or 20 chances.
This is
and because Stuart, you've been to one of the concepts before. So Rodney Scott, the James Beard award-winning operator of Rodney Scott's Whole Hog Barbecue, which you've been to,
yes sir,
has announced he will partner with the country music star Eric Church to open Chief's at 200 Broadway next year. We talked about we saw some renderings of Chief. At Chiefs in December. It's going on it's that corner. It's being renovated right now on Broadway. Speaking of Broadway renovations on this episode, it's on the corner of 2nd and Broadway, and those renovations going. The restaurant's going to take up like an entire floor. Yeah. So just imagine an entire floor as a restaurant.
It's like the 6th floor.
Not like a honky tonk with a restaurant in the corner. Like I think an entire restaurant floor.
So when I
imagine
last time I was in Charleston, I ate at this place twice. And I was in Charleston for 5 days. So that says everything. A lot. Here's a photo of their barbecue. I'm super excited about this. I know I said earlier in the episode you don't see me at Broadway that often.
Oh, I've been to Rodney Scott's. I did. Did they have a drive-through at that?
They have like 7 or 8 locations. Okay, I believe one has a drive-through.
Okay, I think I went to a drive-through one.
It's great barbecue. My favorite thing there is the sausage. It's like a smoked sausage that's remarkable. I know I said I don't go to Broadway that often, but I think once Rodney Scott's opens, I'm going to be going to Broadway a little bit more.
Broadway will have that.
Jack's
it will
barbecue.
Have, obviously, it has Jack's Barbecue. I don't like their downtown location as much as
Ripley's Barbecue.
Rippy's,
which is mediocre.
And then it'll have Raising Cane's, which a lot of people hate on, but I love it.
I've never had it. So I still have never had it.
Oh, nice. Well, that'll be new. I hope that's opening soon.
So there's a seafood
That's a 2023 place to put on your list.
Yeah. They're opening like 9 locations. We've talked about it here in the podcast. There's a seafood restaurant that's from Detroit, which is an interesting market to have a seafood restaurant.
So the name of this is Joe Muir, M-U-E-R. Joe Muir Seafood.
They're opening in Capitol View sometime in 2023.
It's all seafood in Nashville.
It's so hard.
It's very interesting.
It's so hard.
And this is going to be an upscale dining serving fresh seafood, premium aged meats, free-range hormone-free chickens, a lot of free stuff, and an award-winning wine list.
So it's seafood in Nashville is interesting because we're so far away from the sea. That makes sense. And I've seen in my 10 years of being here in Nashville, I've seen...
They come and go. Seafood places.
Literally, they're open for 4 months and then they close. They're open for 4 months, they're closed. I want to say it's close to 25 seafood restaurants that have come into Nashville and have closed. It's such a hard market. But what's interesting is this seafood company is sharing the restaurant or the kitchen space with this next place, and this is Andamio Presto.
Andiamo Presto.
Yeah, so they're sharing the same kitchen space. So hypothetically, they're going to be able to hopefully monetize on that as well.
Okay.
Yes.
This next restaurant.
This is an interesting fusion.
Choto Mate, M-A-T-T-E, a restaurant that specializes in high-end Japanese / Peruvian fusion cuisine.
It's an interesting concept.
This was announced earlier this year. I think they mean 2022 as a tenant in 122-1,
which is downtown.
The new 24-story tower at 122-1 Broadway. They have restaurants in North America, Europe, and the Middle East.
Let's show this video. This little hero video is nice. Makes me want to go. Like the octopus leg right here. This is interesting. Look at that.
Whoa.
I don't know if I'll eat it, but I'm just octopus and me. Like I've only had it twice, and when I had it, it was in Italy, and it was good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like rubber. I don't know how to describe it. There's a new pizza restaurant that's coming to Green Hills. Who would have thought? This is called Dough Bird Pizza and Chicken. I actually passed this the other day, and I'm like, wow, that restaurant looks really cool.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like a juicy rotisserie chicken restaurant with pizza.
That's an interesting, pizza and chicken are an
concept.
interesting combination, especially rotisserie chicken, not like fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
It's an interesting combination to put in Hillsborough Pike. The Sinatra Bar and Lounge.
I'm excited about this one.
This has been in the works for a very, very long time. So
For
I'm
at least 2 or 3 years.
very excited that this will be open this year. It's a Frank Sinatra themed establishment with a Manhattan meets Palm Springs ambiance.
Okay.
In the it's like a Frank Sinatra partied in Miami. Is kind of what I feel like they're going for.
Yeah, but we don't we don't have the environment.
Yeah,
of Palm
well, they're
Springs.
making it.
All right.
It's going to be in the historic Southern Turf Building,
Which is right there on 4th Avenue.
It will also offer an upscale small plate menu.
All right, so the next one is called Bad Idea is being billed as a wine-focused establishment. That just
It sounds like a bad idea.
the wine-focused establishments that are just wine-focused in East Nashville. That's like another thing, like seafoods. They all come and they go. And what's interesting is this is going to be focusing on small plates and shareable offerings.
So it's a concept by Alex Birch, the former wine director for Bastion. Bastion has a fantastic reputation
They do.
in Nashville, so I think that will do well. I don't know if there are enough people who want to get dressed up just to go to
a wine bar.
This will very much have to be complemented
Yep.
with another event or gallery or something to do in Nashville that doesn't already offer wine.
Yep.
Which would be very hard.
Which is very, 60 Vine. Like, there's so many big wine places here in town already. It's interesting. So another Japanese restaurant that started in Chicago is coming to Nashville's Wedgwood Houston neighborhood. This is called,
Momotaro.
Momotarto.
Momotaro. They're
butchered
coming to
that.
Wedgwood, Houston. That's all the information they give.
And then we have, is it Iggy's?
It looks like Iggy's.
Planned for Wedgwood, Houston in the spring will focus on freshly made pasta in addition to prepared sauces and cheeses.
So
Okay.
one thing that I wish somebody would do in Nashville is make fresh pasta and sell it in bags. There aren't
Nicoletto's.
enough. Do they do that?
They do that. I have no idea where they're selling, but yes, they do that.
That would be nice. Juniper, which will open at 124 North College Street, will focus on a coal wood grill and prepared items in a wood-fired oven, according to earlier reports.
All right, so let us know in the comment which restaurant did you put on your to-go list. I am going to Rodney Scott's Barbecue, and I'm going to try one of these Japanese places.
Bill's Sandwich Place,
That's, yes.
number 1 on this list.
Uh-huh.
Noko is probably number 2 on this list. And let me see the barbecue restaurant in Chiefs. I would love to hear or see a little bit, and I'll be interested to see the Sinatra Bar and Lounge as well. Thank you for listening to Nashville Daily.
To learn more about today's episode, visit NashvilleDailyPodcast.com. And to stay connected, head to our Discord, and you can find the link at NashvilleDailyPodcast.com/connect. Nashville Daily is now offering tours. If you would like to take a tour of downtown Nashville, head to the link in the show notes or find out more details at NashvilleDailyPodcast.com.
Nashville Daily Podcast is an Explore.Nash production, copyright 2022.